that led to being inducted into the Hall of Fame, right? For mountain biking. I mean, you
Hmm.
couldn't have seen that when you were younger, right?
No,
I mean,
it's not even really. It wasn't a thing. It didn't
what
exist.
does it feel quite surreal? Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
only the
It's
select
one of those
few that.
things. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's not something that's a reality or a possibility because let's be honest, the sport is really new. It's not like baseball or hockey where Hall of Fame's been around for decades, so it's not something you grow up going, oh man, I'd love to be in the Hall of Fame for mountain biking. And then when the guys were chatting about it, I was just like, I don't really know if I deserve it. And then it's like, and then they explained to me, the reasoning and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, that'd be pretty cool if it did happen. And then it did. And it was like, it was pretty surreal. I'll definitely,
Wicked. So explain how the conversation start or what they were, the reasoning and all that. Yeah, I mean, I know nothing about it.
yeah, well, like, so there's lots of conversations like behind closed doors that goes on about the Hall of Fame and mountain biking. And the bottom line is, um, if you came in and you change the game, that is something that you should be recognized for because you came in, you changed things. You just didn't win a bunch of things. It was like you changed the sport. And that's where like what I needed to hear to kind of really grasp the concept of me being worthy. And I was like, yeah, yeah. Think back. I was like, I definitely did a bunch of things that weren't being done, and definitely like my goal was when I was a kid watching Seth Morrison's Chronicles of how he changed the game. I was like, that's what I wanted to do. And then, I used my skills and I achieved, a good portion of my goals. And that's the reasoning behind it.
Where do they do it? Where's the headquarters or where do they do this thing?
Well, it's in the Mountain Bike Hall of Fame is in Marin County in California, just north of San Fran. And it's a really cool museum. There's a bunch of like awesome people that dedicate a bunch of time to keeping it going. And, they do the induction just kind of like in a really small venue at the actual museum. And then it's all like broadcasted, and they do a big induction ceremony, and, we have a bunch of drinks and have a little bit of a celebration after, and it was really cool. It was nice.
Oh, that's
It
wicked.
wasn't like a red carpet affair sort of thing, but it was more down to earth. Such as, in my opinion, that's how I see the mountain bike industry is very down to earth, like welcoming type community. So I think it was great that it really reflected that because mountain biking's not like your flashy red carpet, type fair. I don't know, maybe you might disagree, but that's kind of how I see the bike industry is just you know awesome.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think it's such a cool lifestyle industry. It's getting more corporate. I mean, the turnovers that I'm hearing of some of these companies and
Hmm.
stuff, but I think it's critical that we keep to some of the core values and the people in the sport. Your kids can go and it's a safe place if you become a mountain biker
Yep.
or you have mountain bike mates. I think it speaks to what you spoke of the Hall of Fame. What's some of the coolest stuff that you see down there, like when you go down there?
Um, definitely a lot of the old bikes because they have like wraps around some like the very first bikes that ever were created, and then you have a bunch of like all the legends bikes in up on the thing, and they have a little picture, some descriptions, and then they have the previous inductees, a little bit of a story. Some guys were trail builders and they helped pave the way for this entire area. That's why they're in the Hall of Fame, and it's cool. And it's like, for me, one of the things that I said at first, I'm like, yeah, but I'm not retired. I'm like, why should I be in now? Back to the people thinking I'm retired conversation. And it was the fact that like what I'm being known, like thrown in there for, I am past that part of my life, and I've moved on to being an adventure content athlete. So it did make sense. And I know I've heard from like racers and other athletes that are like, well, why am I not in the Hall of Fame? I've done this, this, and this. And it's like, well, it wouldn't make much sense to put someone into the Hall of Fame if they're still in their career. Once you kind of hang the hat up, then it's like, okay, then it's time to be recognized. That makes any
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, no, it does. I guess, yeah, if you're still competing, you've still got potential records to break and stuff like that. I guess
Absolutely.
Greg Menard's probably not in the Hall of Fame yet, right? Yeah,
And he's been, a topic of conversation because, people are like, well, why is he not in there? He's freaking, look what he's done. It's undisputable.
yeah,
But
no,
it's
it's
like
an
he's
yeah,
still smashing it. So
yeah. He'll
yeah,
be in there one day when he decides. So
yeah. Who
we'll
knows when he's
see.
going to just decide to hang up the towel? Because we all know that he could hang on to those bars a lot longer than we all think.